Yesterday I spent the day at Mogamma, which is the government building for visa renewal. It's a bit of a hectic process. First of all, it was difficult for me because I didn't speak Arabic, and the majority of information was in Arabic. And it was a very crowded place with little direction. The bureaucracy was intense. I found myself getting more information from the people that were waiting there than from any of the officials. I took the passport application, the visa renewal application from one individual, was directed to another line, and to get a signature, and then subsequently came back to the line for another the process of getting signatures over and over and over again, and was eventually told that I lacked the authorization from the hotel in which I was staying at. So I had to come back to the hotel and get some sort of documentation to show that I'm indeed staying at a place in Egypt, even though I may stay here a couple more days before I go on somewhere else. This sort of bureaucratic procedure may be frustrating to some. It's of course frustrating to me. I'm not going to say that it's not. However, I have just come to allow things to just roll off my back since being here. I've spoken about this in previous posts, about the corruption that seems to be rampant within society. One of the highlights, though, of spending 5 hours in a government building trying to get my visa renewed was I ended up meeting an individual. His name is Islam. He's 28 years old. Very interesting guy. Spent some time in Chicago, Illinois. One of the things that he mentioned to me was this feeling that the government here treats a lot of the Egyptian citizens as animals or lesser than. And while of course I'm not an Egyptian, I can see a lot of what he's saying to be true, just given this desperate need. There's a lot of need for improvement infrastructure-wise. Sanitation lacks for sure. Even the basic lights and pedestrian crossways are lacking. My first day, I felt like a sensory overload as I was getting to know the area, but also at the same time trying to cross the street. It was a quite weird feeling to be in the middle of the street with cars rushing past me. However, it seems to work somehow. People, to my observation, have not been hit. I haven't been hit, thankfully, and so it goes on like a kind of dance, and people get up every day and spend a lot of time in the streets and get to their destinations. Drivers here are wild. Some use signal lights at night. A small mixture of individuals use, or should I say, don't use headlights. It's really just a random thing that I really haven't experienced anywhere else. But it works, I guess, for them. Moving forward, I hope that once I get final visa authorization, pay the fee, get the stamp, move on to the next destination, that I can try to make it to the Gaza Strip. Things still seem uncertain for me. I've been told by everyone I talk to that the Sinai is closed to tourists and travelers. Of course, I am a mixture of a tourist and also a student. I don't really know where that leaves me in terms of visa applications, so I have just really been applying for the tourist visa in hope that this will make do to move me from my current location in Cairo to the Strip. I have about 5 hours to get there, and of course still hindered by lack of Arabic language skills. So this is also one of the big drawbacks to the situation, is that I have a hard time communicating short of witnessing or observing nonverbal behaviors, which I think I'm getting a little bit better at. But of course, I'm still not 100% positive on all reflections. So my backup plan, if this does not go well, is to hunker down into the area, it's southern Egypt, in an area called Aswan, and practice Arabic, because this really is a big part of this trip, other than meeting people and exploring this countryside.